The amount of money that you make or what career you have or how much fame you have is completely irrelevant to whether or not you're a high caliber guy. I don't care how much money he's making or what you think of the status is or how many followers that he has. He's not right. He will probably grow to get out of that. And hopefully, if he watches this, maybe it'll seed that, because I'm telling you, I'm experienced enough in this, and I've seen thousands of relationships as a divorce lawyer. I know what goes wrong, and I know stuff that people don't tell other human beings because it's attorney-client privilege. I see the real stuff. And the interesting thing is how young the internet is and how young shows like this and things are. Let's see how this progresses over time. And then over time, we will show how that progresses to find something that's better and right.
Yeah.
So the long term of that podcast versus the long term of this podcast, this type of thing makes me that much more confident that we need to keep doing this as long as we can, because we are in a healthy version of what this negative society is.
Money makes people bad too.
Sometimes.
It is the root of all evil. It's listed. It says that in the Bible.
It's actually the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, it's not money itself. Money is a tool, and that's a common misconception.
But you can take a good person, and money can destroy a good person. That's the problem with our world, is that it's okay to cheat. It's okay to do these things. And that's why our divorce rate is where it's at today.
Yeah. Part of why you have a monogamous relationship is physical safety, so that you're not bringing sexually transmitted diseases, and financial safety, that you're not creating children that are outside of this marriage that would have to be raised by other people or in separation apart with two different families. It's numerous reasons. As soon as you can identify that there is such thing as a need to be right, need to be special, need to be appreciated, need to be validated, and you can intentionally decide that you are going to do what you can to put that aside and not need that, you grow past that, now you become a person of value.
Brittany Renner, guys.
You know who Brittany Renner is?
No.
Neither do I. Let's see.
Oh, boy. So, well, hold on. I'll give you guys a quick look.
So somebody sent us this one to comment on, so we'll see what this is.
Intro to who this girl is. You want to give them the little background on who she is, bro?
Yeah, man. So if you're in any type of social media space, you know Brittany Renner. She's been seen multiple times.
We're in a social media space, and we don't know who Brittany Renner is.
I mean, her name sounds familiar. I need to see her face.
Times giving advice to ladies how to finesse athletes, celebrities, and it's more like she's giving people advice to live her lifestyle. But
to live her lifestyle, and celebrities and athletes giving them advice. All right, we'll see.
At the same time, her lifestyle isn't always the best and enjoyable for herself. So it's funny to see her make this videos because deep down she's kind of sad herself. But
interesting. Is this typical of 2023 United States people, internet,
sounds
social
like
media?
It. Yeah.
At the same time, it's fun to watch.
And actually, before you pull this up, pull up the Spotify video real quick. So for some of you guys that are wondering, we actually did an interview with her on DJ Academics.
Should we get her on the show?
Podcast back earlier this year, called the Off the Record podcast, guys. And we did a show with her.
That sounds like it's on the record.
Yeah.
We did a talk. We had a discussion about, intersexual dynamics or situation with PJ Washington. I gave her.
Do you know who PJ Washington is?
Who's that?
No.
So today we're going to have normal people looking at crazy stuff from the internet. Here we go.
Some practical advice. And the one thing I told her was, you're kind of in a situation now where you've dated rappers, you've dated celebrities, you've dated very successful men.
So she's dated rappers and celebrities and very successful men.
Mm-hmm.
So attractive, I suppose.
You really can't go backwards.
No.
You're kind of... And Donovan, you want to talk about that a little bit when it comes to women dating?
Brittany Renner is not kind of sad. Brittany.
I don't know about that, because I think there's a problem with their mindset here too. Because just because somebody's a celebrity doesn't mean that they're a valuable person to be in a relationship with at all.
No.
And they got this clout. In fact, you're probably both living in la la lands about what you think and this image of what it is that you think it is, as opposed to what it really is. And it's probably not very good relationships at all. That's my suspicion, just as somebody who is a divorce lawyer who sees all of this stuff go badly over and over.
Yeah.
And these guys, even on this podcast, they look kind of young. What do you think? They're 20s and 30s?
Yeah.
30s? Maybe early 40s?
Guy in the white shirt
maybe?
looks more like in his 40s.
But let's see.
Renner is miserable. She is, let me say it again, she is miserable.
Do you think that she's not very happy?
Yeah.
It sounds like she may be miserable.
If Brittany Renner could turn back the clock and do it all over again, I promise you she would do it differently.
Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe she still hasn't learned that lesson and she's still trying to relive it out. Because a lot of people, she's got a lot of rewards for this, and maybe she can't even figure out why it's not working out.
Yeah.
Her whole podcast might be a cry for help.
Yeah.
Every video that I see, she's always in her car. It's like, oh, these haters. Oh, you guys didn't think of that. Oh, you think I'm miserable. No.
Yeah. Well, that's attention seeking.
Yeah.
Brittany Renner, dude, she can't even stand to look at herself. And somebody said something about a narcissist. Brittany Renner is not a narcissist. Brittany Renner's a lot of things. Stupid isn't one of them. It's over for her because it's just like you said. She's dated rappers and athletes. She can't go backward.
Okay. So I fundamentally disagree with the fact that if you don't date a rapper and an athlete, that you're going backwards.
Right.
Rappers and athlete are not the top of the chain here. And as a matter of fact,
I need to know what this girl looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to come up here.
Here's the problem. The men that are forward don't want anything to do with her.
Well, maybe and probably. I'm not saying that rappers are not good people or things like that. I'm sure that some of them are, and I'm sure a lot of them are not, and I'm sure that a lot of athletes are, and I'm sure a lot of athletes are not.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. And the fact that she's looking and seeking for that, and the fact that these guys are thinking, oh, that's what it's all about, and that's their perception of what society is not that at all. They're fooled by the illusion. It's not Mickey Mouse on a stage. It's a guy in a Mickey suit. They're still thinking it's Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Marriage is more about the actual reality of, oh, it's a guy in the suit. Oh, I see. It's a great guy to be married to that happens to be a rapper. Now you're starting to be onto something.
Right.
Cam Newton, Kirby's like, bitch, I'm not trying to be in your book. Any man with any common sense is not, nobody is trying to be Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner she's really trying to be who I think Selena Powell was kind
Okay, who's Selena Powell?
of trying to be. I remember you and I did a video on Selena Powell's thought training. Like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be a girl like me.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you want to,
I have seen some of these girls that are giving this just horrible advice about how to manipulate guys. I wonder if she's one of those.
Maybe.
We're going to talk about one of those.
They're not fans of them because
I guess, especially this guy.
accomplish anything in your life, you cannot listen to Brittany Renner. No matter what she says on camera.
If you're going to accomplish anything in life, you don't listen to Brittany. That may be good advice. We'll see.
On her TikToks or whatever the case may be, that woman is and she knows it. Do not let her try to convince you or anyone else that she is happy with her life.
It's a good point.
She is a miserable.
It's all an illusion.
Human being, and in her mind's eye, in an honest moment, she would admit that.
Except she won't, because almost everybody is the hero in their own story.
Yeah.
And there's too many people that are in denial about that, and they get too much validation from the internet. One of the best things that you can do in life is put aside your need to be special, your need to be validated, your need to be appreciated, your need to be right. Those are all weaknesses. As soon as you can identify that there is such thing as a need to be right, need to be special, need to be appreciated, need to be validated, and you can intentionally decide that you are going to do what you can to put that aside and not need that, you grow past that. Now you've become a person of value. Now you've become important. Now you don't care if, like, oh, you're an athlete. Okay, that's great. That's not why I want to talk to you. Who are you really? And please be more than that, because otherwise you're going to be one of the most shallow, non-interesting people that there are. And it's, I'd rather talk to a whole huge number of other people.
Right.
And I think I like the way that Neil Peart had it and said he hates when people comes up to him and talks to him like that. But if you approach me as an equal, everything was fine. And which that lesson, and that's just naturally the way that I appear with it. Can you get starstruck by somebody? Probably. Is it, if you had the opportunity to spend actual time and be normal with someone, and like, for example, if I was invited over to Harrison Ford's house for like a small dinner or something and to hang out with them as friends, like I do with like Scott and Ann or Gerald and Ashley or Lauren and Barry, or just any of a number, you and Daniel, whatever, and we're just hanging out as people, great. I hang out with people that a lot of people would be starstruck with us, or a lot of people would be starstruck because of my career, because of my level of wealth and my level of security. And because when I walk into a room, there's an air about you of, there's just a look that you have, and there's a level of confidence, or just not, it's just something different. They can sort of see who you are and what you're about and how you react. And when you interact with them and they see how you interact with other people, there's a lot of small subtleties that actually very much come through, even in any type of different situation.
Right.
And if you're not pretentious or problematic in any of those type of things, it's just a better way to live, and you're not falling into the traps of these type of things.
100%. There's nothing, dude. I'm telling you, she is clinically depressed.
That's probably true. It might be true. There are a lot of people who are doing these type of things who are clinically depressed and looking for this validation out of this.
Yeah.
That's something that's
They need
just not going to be there.
attention.
Yeah, I think see, the thing is that she's teaching women kind of like how to cruise for a bruise, man. And what I mean by that is,
So is she one of these ones that tells them how to manipulate men and do all this other crap, or what?
that like,
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
and the other thing too is that I don't think women understand this. We're going to talk about this also with the second thing we're going to break down. Once you deal with a certain caliber of guy, it's nearly impossible to go backwards.
Yes.
Look, as I said it again. So yes and no. The problem that's true, but how they're judging what the caliber of a guy is very often misguided. What, because he's a high earner, you think that there's value there? Because I assure you that there's not.
Right.
That is not what it makes it. It's you may need to have a guy who has certain of those aspects about you because of what level you're on. And for example, if she has a lot of money, if she was to try and date someone who doesn't also have a lot of money, there's going to be a knowledge and experience gap that makes the relationship difficult. There's also going to be pressures and viewpoints of the world that are going to be very different, that are going to make the relationship different. So in some aspects, they're right, but in other aspects, they're being very superficial, and they also don't have an understanding of what caliber of guy really means.
And the thing is that the older you get, the likelihood of locking these kinds of guys down,
shrinks, dude.
comes down with it.
Not true. Because the older you get, it's just going to be, there's different level, not level, but it's different. Like, for example, I'm 48. The chances of me finding somebody in their 20s that's going to be mature or right, I just find it's hard to determine. Like, if something was to happen this summer, I wouldn't be considering anybody probably younger than 30, 35. And there's plenty of great high caliber women that would qualify for that.
So you would go younger?
No, I'm just saying when
Just
you're
don't
talking
be like
about,
Billy Joel.
no, I'm talking about wisdom and maturity.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm not in that situation. I don't know. So what?
I just learned recently that Billy Joel's wife is younger than his daughter.
Who, Christy Brinkley or
No.
His
He's been
current
married
wife?
like 3 times, but his latest wife is younger than his daughter.
Oh,
And that's just kind of weird.
I don't know. Maybe
Like 40
maybe if I get there and something happens this summer, and who knows.
You want to be married to someone that's 40 years younger?
No,
than
I want to
you?
be married to Summer. I don't want anything to happen to Summer. That's what I want.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Who knows? Who knows?
And then I remember when
I mean, it depends on the caliber of the person. I have a hard time imagining it, but who knows?
I was having this interview with her, I told her, like, why didn't you just make it work with PJ? Well, he wanted to go out and fuck other girls. That was her biggest concern, biggest thing where
Oh my
she
God.
disliked.
Okay, so that's legit. Why don't you make it work with a guy who wants to cheat on you? Is that not self-explanatory?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're with a multimillionaire, an NBA player, a celebrity, whatever, they're gonna have sex with other girls. Like this.
What?
Okay,
That's ridiculous.
Nonsense.
To immediately, like, I'm sorry.
I'm a multimillionaire. I'm not having sex with other girls. I'm not.
Do you not agree?
Can
with,
I? Sure. Easy. Do I? No. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to. Why? Because I am an actual high caliber guy.
But
the amount of money that you make, or what career you have, or how much
Yeah.
fame you have, is completely irrelevant to whether or not you're a high caliber guy
Yeah.
or
no.
or girl.
Yeah, it does.
And the fact that he thinks this shows his massive immaturity.
Yes.
And girls, pay attention. Don't date him. And whoever this is on the podcast, like, dude, come on, watch this and take the lesson out of it and grow from it. I could totally see. When I was a younger guy, I had a lot of stupid ideas too. That's a stupid idea. That's not how it is. And everybody, that's not how it is. How do I know? I'm wiser. I'm more mature.
This is what comes with the territory.
What? You had something to say?
Yeah, I just don't think that you should, just because they're an athlete or they're an actor or they're famous, it gives them the right to be able to do whatever they want. That's what I say. And I don't think that they should be allowed to cheat or whatever. I don't think a woman should be told you should be able to put up with that just because of who they are. Well, screw them. So a woman who's famous and all this stuff, she has the right to do that too.
You know how you become a high caliber woman? You don't tolerate that.
Right. Absolutely not.
Anybody who is doing that or anybody who is tolerating that is not high caliber.
No.
That's an illusion that if you think that they are.
And you're not self-respecting yourself.
Correct. Yes.
So him and the other people that think that's okay.
Right. It's not how it works.
You think a guy's going to bust his ass to become a professional athlete, a multimillionaire, an entertainer of some kind, just to have sex with you?
Okay.
That's what a commitment is called, dude.
Yeah. A high caliber relationship is better than who you're hooking up with and going to have sex with. They're defining all of this. This is a very godless type of societal type of thing.
Yes.
Is that they're still thinking, oh, it's about who you're hooked up with. It's about this and this. And that's where they're sensing their value. It's cultish because it's the it's the hookup culture. And you notice hookup what? Cult.
Well, and here's
the root word of the word culture is cult.
Yeah. Well, they don't have respect for women either. You can tell by
they don't have respect for themselves either.
Just like
they're just immature.
Just because a guy like put all this work into becoming a great athlete doesn't mean that this woman that he's been having a relationship with hasn't put a lot of work in to be the woman she is today. So like you shouldn't discount her because of what he's done.
And if you're helping that person grow and mature and become wiser and go through life, they're discounting all of that stuff.
Yeah, and if you get in a commitment,
which is more important than all the things that they're talking about.
Yeah, but if you get in a commitment with someone, you should be exclusive. You shouldn't. That's the problem with our world, is that it's okay to cheat. It's okay to do these things. And that's why our divorce rate is where it's at today.
Yeah. And we're going to keep raking in money off the divorces of people like that. But we do also screen. We want a higher caliber of client as well. Because these are the type of people who think, oh, well, now we're breaking up. Now it's going to be about revenge. That's not right either.
Right.
You don't want revenge. You want to move to something that is healthy. You want to get divorced as healthy as possible. Go to healthydivorce.com, not iwantrevengedivorce.com.
Right.
That's it. Like guys that rise to that status do not practice monogamy.
That is not true. I'm telling you, I'm tremendously higher status than he is. And many respects. If you're gonna do that comparison, you're gonna take advice for one of the two. I'm very happily married. I got everything in life going for me, and it's because I'm not doing that. I used to do that, and I used to be a loser. There was a good segment of my life where it was I'm kind of a loser at the moment, but I have a whole lot of potential once I get through this dumb phase where I tried all of this crap that he's talking about here. It's not it. I don't care how much money he's making or what you think of the status is or how many followers that he has. He's not right. He will probably grow to get out of that. And hopefully, if he watches this, maybe it'll seed that, because I'm telling you, I'm experienced enough in this. And I've seen thousands of relationships as a divorce lawyer. I know what goes wrong. And I know stuff that people don't tell other human beings because it's attorney-client privilege. I see the real stuff. This is coming from real experience and real advice, not what the guy here and talking with him and his buddies and seeing how this works and he has a podcast. It's not it.
I agree with you.
I don't know. Maybe he's an expert. Maybe he's a trained psychologist.
He's an expert in cheating.
Yeah, but I doubt it. I don't know anything about him as I'm watching this, but I doubt it.
They don't. And if they do, they're lying most of the time. 99% of the time, they're going to have sex with other girls. And
No, you are wrong. You're just wrong. And that statistic's not even accurate.
Got to deal with the territory.
In conversations
Well,
dealing
his
with
statistic could be accurate in
No, it's not.
in
In
sports.
In
and
sports
stuff.
or entertainment?
Yes. You can't say that it's wrong. I bet you it is correct because
No, not 99.9.
well, I would say
so out of
I would say
99.9, that's out of every 1,000 there's only one honest football player out of 1,000 NFL players.
I would
It's not
say
true.
I would say that
I personally know more than that.
I say that it's probably extremely high in
50%? I'll give you. I'll give you 50%.
I'm not even talking
but-
about football per se. I'm saying like in the basketball society.
Well,
I
basketball, football, or entertainment, actors, and things like that. 50%? Sure. I think the general population's 50%.
Oh, I think it's higher than 50%.
Is it higher? Maybe.
Yeah.
But is that
I don't think it's 99.9. I think he's
not for the people
crazy
that are
there.
happy? Not for the people
But-
that have healthy marriages. That's not happening.
Yeah, but how many do? And compared
A
to
lot of people have healthy marriages, but in those industries, are they worse? Probably because and
I
see,
think
here's the
money
problem.
plays a big part.
Money
in-
magnifies who you are.
Yeah.
If you're a good person, money is going to magnify how good you are and how much good you can do. If you're a bad person, money's going to magnify the bad and the evil that you bring into the world. And all of your negative qualities are going to be magnified, and all of your positive qualities
and
are going to be
sometimes-
magnified.
Well, and sometimes money makes people bad too.
Sometimes.
It is the root of all evil. It's listed. It
Well,
says that in the Bible.
It's actually the love of money is the root of
Yeah.
all evil.
Well,
It's not
yeah.
money itself. Money is a tool, and that's a common misconception.
But you can take a good person, and money can destroy a good person.
Yes,
So
it can, which is also another reason why getting rich slow is better,
right.
or having good fundamentals taught and trained, really taught to you, really understood and explained to you.
Well, I think
from when you're a child, and there's too many parents that are turning over to the wrong sources, and you want to find the right things that are gonna teach people those fundamentals.
Well, I think
and these are
keeping-
the fundamentals. The basic fundamentals that we're talking about are the fundamentals that are in this podcast, which is why you should like and subscribe and support the channel. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you think. If you like us, tell us. If you hate us, tell us. If you think I'm wrong, if you think 99.99% of athletes and famous people are out there cheating and there's no such thing as monogamy, let me know. But I fundamentally disagree with that. And because I know there's not, I know a lot of people that are like me, and a lot of people who have good, healthy marriages and are good and healthy with that. I can name good friends of mine that are like that. Tom Novak is like that. Jay Bender is like that. John Roach is like that.
But these are judges.
Judge Rush is like that.
We're
I know.
talking-
I just happen to be thinking of all the judges that are up there.
We're talking about celebrities.
But, I mean, judges to a certain extent are celebrities, and I know very rich and famous lawyers, and a lot of them are like that. The fact that you have gone through and become that high quality person, or are blessed with a lot of money, doesn't mean you automatically go out and start cheating and doing any of this stuff. Is there a time and phase that you go through this, especially in the 20s because of our society? Yes, a lot. But hopefully you grow out of it. I grew out of it I started my growing out of it at like 25, 26, and kind of really started figuring out and getting out of it. 28, 29, 30, like 32, I was pretty good. 35, I was ready to get married. And that's when I happened to get married. And I got married to Summer, who was 30 at the time. And it was great. And I have plenty of money and plenty of fame and everything that people would want. I could totally cheat on her. I will not do it.
Right. Well, that's
the difference
and-
between a high quality
right.
person and a not. Not that, oh, they got all this money, they worked their ass off to get.
But if
to be
you
good at
sat
that
down,
stuff.
Dana, and made a list of all the athletes out there, and you started Wikipediaing a lot of them, you'd be surprised how many of them ended their marriages in divorce because of cheating.
A lot. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised at all. I'm a divorce lawyer.
So I'm just saying, like what he's saying. I'm not saying 99.9%.
The fundamental premise of what's
but-
going on here is that she's trying to date high quality people, and she defines that as these cheating rappers and cheating
Oh, yeah.
entertainers and cheating athletes. as to use their terms.
But that's not high quality people.
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole. Thank you. We agree.
Yeah.
Relationships between men and women. Women always like to say, "Oh, the fragile male ego, the fragile male ego." Now, there could be some truth to that, but women are the ones with the ego. So much so that if a man they're with has the audacity to stick his in another, the world ends. If other people know about it, right?
What are we watching, huh?
The girls will sit here and say, again, they'll sit here and say, well, if he were to cheat on me, blah, 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 blah. That's because you're acknowledging it. If he were to cheat on me, in other words, if I were to find out, if everybody else were to find out, because at that point, if you get caught cheating, now your woman has to be seen doing something.
Necklace is handcuffs.
What for squirrels?
I don't think a squirrel could
I don't know if
fit.
that's a hand that would fit in there.
I know.
Like finger size.
I wonder if this is his girlfriend next to him or his wife, because at one point I saw her having her arm on him and stuff. So
I don't know. I'll look
about
out
it,
for
right?
that.
Because if other people know about his cheating, her friends and family, well, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Okay, well, I guess I'll dump him. And then 2 months later, well, we worked it out, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, these are all self-esteem issues
oh yeah.
on right and left. Everybody that he's talking about.
Well,
here.
as long as she doesn't know about it, women, they very
Nope. No.
rarely.
A healthy marriage is based on trust. The fact, oh, you can cheat on me as long as I don't know about it, means you don't really trust them, and that the whole thing is an illusion. You're both completely lacking self-confidence and self-respect, and you're not living your life to the fullest, and you won't live your life to the fullest, and you're going to develop into be a fraction of the person that you could have been, and you're going to be in a terrible situation and hate yourself more and more and more the longer that it goes. You don't have to tolerate that. You don't have to live like that. There's a better way. There is a better way.
Admit that. But deep down inside, they would admit to themselves, you know what?
Exactly. Deep down inside.
As long as I don't know about it,
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
good with it. And that speaks directly to the woman's ego. Confidence comes from within.
Confidence does come from within. And that's another reason why you shouldn't tolerate your spouse cheating on you.
No.
And
Or
I'm
a
not saying
boyfriend
that's
or
not something that
girlfriend.
you can't work through.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's going to be cheating, and they're going to cheat, and they're going to cheat no matter what. You're going to go back to them because this is going to be a cycle that repeats over and over again. No.
Right.
Ego comes from the outside. This is why women are so adverse to a man cheating or exercising options.
No, that's not the reason why. Cheating breaks the covenant. It's not a real marriage.
Yeah.
And it's a lie. And it means that they can't trust you. If they can't trust you about this, they can't trust you about anything. And you're bringing part of why you have a monogamous relationship is physical safety, so that you're not bringing sexually transmitted diseases, and financial safety, that you're not creating children that are outside of this marriage that would have to be raised by other people or in separation apart with two different families. It's numerous reasons.
Because in public, that's a slight against her. What does she have that I don't have? All of a woman's confidence comes from the outside. That's not confidence.
No. What is he talking about? A woman's confidence does not come from the outside.
No.
A woman's confidence comes from the same place anybody's confidence comes from.
Inside.
Internally.
Yeah.
And experientially. By having success and learning and taking chances and living your life and doing good things.
These guys know nothing.
They have a lot to learn.
That's ego. You don't puncture confidence because it comes from within. You puncture a woman's ego. And what's the quickest way to
What? No.
puncture a woman's ego? And let other people find out about it, which is
That's called cruelty and evil and revenge, and that would be the information that I would be looking for. Thank you so much for telling me that. Next, what was your name? I would completely move on. That is low caliber thinking, low quality caliber of thinking and ideas.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
why Brittany Renner was feeling some type of way that PJ Washington was.
Well, yeah, I mean, and girls get so mad when I say this.
No wonder she's not happy with herself if she's participating in all of this, because they're not going to make sense or make logic out of any of this
I
stuff.
still want to know what this girl looks like.
Oh, we'll get there.
Can we Google her?
If they don't show or any of that in this podcast, we will.
I always say, like, a woman's primary agency is her looks.
Yes.
Oh, no.
A woman's primary agency is not her looks. It's who she is as a person.
Yes.
and the choices that she makes, the decisions that she does.
And they wonder why like little girls have self-image issues.
And this is what they're
stuff.
teaching. And is this, how did they learn this? I would like to know what their parenting situations were, that this is what they think, and they're hanging out with all the people.
I hope they don't have children.
What?
I hope they don't have children.
I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Well, why do you all have fucking makeup on right now? Why is it even during a pandemic you're going to risk your freedom and potentially getting sick with the, the disease? We'll just call it the disease, right? Right? Because I remember back in March of 2020, no one knew what the hell's going on. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" I knew girls that were sneaking into hair salons and nail salons to get their
But that doesn't mean that was a good thing for them to do, smart or wise, or that they were the high quality. Just because there are people that do that doesn't mean that it's smart. There are people that make bad decisions all the time.
I wonder what this lady thinks. She's just sitting there.
She is just sitting there. She hasn't said a word this whole time, has she?
And I'm thinking to myself, do you agree with what they're saying? Are you comprehending
I think
what
that she is going along with this because her self-esteem is probably in the toilet.
Well, so if that's her man, is he cheating on her and she approves of that?
I don't know. Maybe. And maybe her self-esteem is so low that that's just what she thinks that she can get.
Her
body language and demeanor and everything is not very good right here.
Down.
Yeah.
Their shit done, because beauty is that goddamn important to the point where I'm going to risk everything to go ahead and look better, right? House calls, all this shit. They didn't give a shit because women know deep down their primary agency comes down to how they look, bro. There's a reason why they have filters.
It's not.
There's a reason why they take a million pictures to pick one. That's what it is.
No.
I like what this guy says. Women aren't cars.
Brittany Renner is the sports car Walter White bought, crashed, and set on fire. Walter White from Breaking Bad?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So a girl being with a successful man, there's no better embodiment to her validating her presence than being with a successful guy. The problem is that they don't understand that there's plenty of beautiful women. That's right. It's common. That's right. This guy.
Oh my God. So they are this bad. He's saying that there are plenty of beautiful women, and this guy is financially successful, so he can be with anybody. So this is pretty sexist right here. But
it's rare, and it amazes me because when we actually do the female delusion calculator on the show, and the girls punching what they want in a guy, almost every girl is scoring like 4 to 5 cat bags. Of course.
Did you get that?
So what is this thing? This 4 to 5? What did he say? The ranking? Yes, I did get that one. What is he saying? How come my space bar?
Punching what they want in a guy. Almost every girl is scoring like 4 to 5 cat bags. Of course. For some of you guys that are wondering, like, what's a cat bag score? It's basically a score of how delusional that woman is. They always put a guy in the top 1%. It's ridiculous.
Well, the problem with that they're doing, because I think I've seen part of that where they're getting women and having them rate to say, what do you want? Well, I want one that's 6'3", makes over $400,000, is 25 years old, is like 200 pounds, and is
super
very fit and can run certain like they're, and
has a 6-pack.
Yeah, which is, most of these things are complete nonsense, and it's not even things that you should necessarily look for.
It's not even real half the time either.
It's just silly.
Dude.
I've said this for years. The reason why women so nonchalantly, okay, he's got to be 6 feet tall, he's got to make 6 figures, he's got to have a 6 foot and this and that and the other.
Didn't you just say that?
I think that's what I was just talking about. All right, let's see what he thinks about it.
He's got to be ripped. He only has eyes for me. The reason for that is, and I've said this, I've been saying this for years. Most men are sexually invisible to most women.
Facts.
So when you ask any rank and file woman, who cheats more, men or women? Well, of course they say, well, men cheat more. No, women cheat more. Women cheat a lot more.
I don't know that that's true. And as a divorce lawyer, I can't tell. I don't see trends.
I think it's 50-50.
I think it's pretty even.
Yeah.
The reason why they think men cheat more is because they're only thinking about the top 10% of men. What percentage of men are over 6 feet? 60, 70%? Wrong answer. 14% of men worldwide are over 6 feet tall. The reason why they think it's 60 to 70% is because they only visually sexually see that percentage of men. What women need to understand, and I don't think they'll understand it in this generation, but what they need to understand, just like you said, beauty is common. These 1%ers are rare. Where the disconnect with them is they don't understand that the lens through which they view sexual relations is only with the top 10% of men.
I don't know. What do you think?
That's why when you ask these women anything about men versus women or women versus men, their answers are so skewed because they don't even realize that the average rank and file.
The problem that you're having here is that these women that they're doing this with, they're getting like strippers.
Women that are using men for their status.
The women that are doing this, and they're asking them of these questions.
Yeah.
Man is literally invisible to them. That's why they're shocked when they hear you guys say stuff like that.
And the thing is that they have a privilege of not understanding these realities because men come to them. So I've always
said it like, that are watching this.
Women are in a privileged position where it's like the guys come to them.
Hold on. I love the show. This is from Jonathan Garcia, who's his profile is his watch. So let me go off on that real quick to begin with. If your profile is your watch because you're showing off, what you're trying to do is demonstrate that you're a high value man and attract through that particular source. That's not the way it's done, man.
You're gonna attract the wrong.
And he goes, love the show. I finally realized I was not crazy because I was a high value male who has a traditional masculine ideology. Society can make you feel crazy for not conforming to their beliefs. I agree that society can make you feel crazy for not conforming to their beliefs. If you are only exposing yourself to that part of society, like apparently these guys are, that is doing all that stuff. Once you realize, oh, there's a whole lot of others, you're just looking in the wrong place. You're talking with the wrong people. You're looking for the wrong things, that you're not getting the right stuff. Jonathan, subscribe to the Lawyer Dana Show. You'll learn a lot more and things that will be useful and helpful to you in actually getting to a healthy and happy life.
They don't necessarily have to understand or know what's on the other side.
Right.
Men, on the other hand, as the hunters, have to know, right, and understand, more importantly, what's on the other side.
That's right.
If a guy doesn't understand women, he's not going to get laid.
Nope.
Like, it's not.
See, it's the getting laid is the ultimate value.
Yeah.
Going to happen. You're going to have to understand how she thinks, how she moves. A lot of the times, you're going to have to be 2 to 3 steps ahead.
And now he's talking about how you manipulate your way to sleeping with multiple women.
The first one, you can deal with sexual objections, bring her back to your place. Your place is clean. You have it set a certain place. You have music set, all this other shit.
Yeah.
You're basically handling objections before they even come. It's sales, right?
Yes. Oh,
but
100%.
With women, they don't understand what.
I actually like the sales analogy. At least for what he's talking about, he's at least right on that little minuscule part of it.
It takes to be attractive to other women. And we have a game on the show all the time where we reveal this. Oh, I can get girls. It's not that hard. Really? Fantastic. Let's go into a scenario. You pick the scenario, and I'm going to be the girl. And it is amazing to me, Donovan, how we literally give them similar.
So they're going to simulate he's going to be the girl. I'm going to go, let's play that simulation. You're him, and you're going to do the simulation. And I'm going to go, God, you're the ugliest girl I've seen in a long time.
And you're going to get smacked.
The whole purpose is that for me to talk to someone, any girl that I actually want to, I can walk up and just start talking to her. I can talk to her as easily as I can talk to you. As I talk to senators and judges and clients and celebrities and athletes, anybody. I can talk to anyone. And if there was a girl that I liked and I was available, I'd be able to walk up and talk to her too. Why? Because I wouldn't necessarily have an agenda, except maybe I can have a nice conversation. And then, I don't know, maybe I would get their number and say, would you like to go out to, I'd probably ask her out to eat or to do something or whatever. I don't know. I haven't dated in a while. But would it be difficult for me? No.
Yeah.
But what he's doing here, he's trying to do a dominance game between him and whoever this person is, because he's trying to validate his need to be right.
Right. And
so he's going to do this simulation, and somehow the fact that they would even play this is a trap. And now he's demonstrating, it's difficult to get women, and it's just feeding his narrative.
Right.
Objections that regular girls give. I don't give my number out, or
I don't give my number out. Okay, I mean, great. There can be a million reasons why they wouldn't want to give their number out. And you're going to talk to dozens and dozens and dozens of girls that are not available or whatever. If you're going and talking to them for that agenda, you ask them out, and if you get a no, fine, who cares? For them, it's like they're keeping score. How many notches can I get? How many girls can go out? You only need one.
Right.
And if that one's not the right one, why do you want to pursue it and consider that a loss?
Right.
And if they're giving you an excuse, there's a reason why. And maybe you haven't talked to them long enough. and a lot of your perfectly acceptable closes as a salesperson, if you're trying to do this to find somebody, is, well, I'm Dana. It's nice to meet you. Maybe I'll see you around sometime.
Yeah.
And you give something like that, and then and by the way, I'm going to be pretty nicely dressed, and I carry my normal air about me, and maybe I'm not right for them. That interaction, you get the information that you need.
Right.
Relax.
Yeah.
It's too important. This one, I got to get this girl. No, you don't.
No, they're trying to get laid.
Right. And they're trying to get laid and trying to do it right now. And there's all this time pressure. You take away any of that time pressure, you're cool enough to do whatever and take whatever comes, and know that the long term is so much better than the short term. If I have a major advantage over every one of these guys, because I understand I've had long term and I've had the short term, and I see the difference in what's better.
Right.
I know the better approaches, and I'm just wiser than they are, which makes it easy.
Right.
Okay,
I'm here with my friends, or I have a boyfriend or whatever. We give them simple objections that girls give to guys every single day. They don't know how to handle it.
Nope, they don't know how to handle it. I'll tell you what, you guys should do an experiment.
The reason that they don't know how to handle it is because they have a bad mindset, and these guys are pursuing that mindset. They're talking to it like, oh, here's the trick, here's the trick, here's the trick. No, it's who you have to be actually, who you are, based on decisions you've made in the past, that it will give you the skill to be able to walk up to a girl and talk to her. And it's the mindset of everything that they're teaching you in this so far is incorrect and wrong. And they're teaching you the wrong stuff to try to achieve the wrong goals. This is not it. Not what's going to get you there.
Experiment. It might be like a 2-part episode. Have these girls who think that they can get bitches, have them create a Tinder profile as a guy, and then
why are you going on Tinder in order to find one? Have them create a profile as a guy. It seems like you would get nothing but a lot of spam.
And why do they have to refer to women as B words?
It's because this is the hookup mindset, and it's a point system. What they're trying to do, it's lobster brain. They're trying to be the higher dominant lobster, and they're not. They're like they're fighting for 3 and 4. In the dominant scale, and then you've got your 2s and your 1s that are primarily in their audience and buying and believing all this stuff, because a lot of times they just don't know better and they haven't got the experience.
Yeah.
As a lobster on that, you and I are 10s in the life that we live. We live a better life than than so many other people that have ever even existed.
Oh, I wouldn't want that life.
And this life here, no. And this hookup culture and any of that, no, it's not where it's at.
Get back with me. Have a Tinder profile as a guy and deal with the is on Tinder, on dating apps. And then
why would you want a girl on Tinder?
So
I guess it's just for the hookups and the sex, and that's the game that they're playing. If that's what you want to do, it's not a very fulfilling life. And I didn't even remember the name of the girl that this thing started out with. Of course, she's depressed.
Brittany Renner.
They all, yeah.
And they're husband and wife. I saw someone post something.
Are they?
So they're husband and wife.
And she's just sitting there and having to listen to this, and he's programming this into her.
Yes.
And basing and
he's talking about
and directing
Tinder
their
and stuff. It
directing their
wonder,
relationship in that direction.
I wonder if he cheats on her. Probably does.
I don't know.
then come back to me and tell me that you can get bitches. I promise you it'll be a different story.
As somebody, Alexander Grace did that on an experiment. The girl nearly cried. A girl made a profile. She actually used his pictures.
Yep.
And said she was a psychologist, all this other shit, or about to become a psychologist. And she was floored.
She's like, oh my God, they're so flaky. Welcome to our world, man.
What? Who was flaky? She made a profile for herself or for the guy?
I'm not sure. I
didn't follow.
Yeah. But just like you always say, we don't expect women to ever give or care about our plight.
No,
we're just letting you guys know how it is.
They never will. I would argue.
Mm-hmm. So they're basically trying to just say, "Hey, listen, this is what we're trying to do."
And they're doing our team versus their team dynamic in this too.
As technology gets better, as the sexual marketplace becomes more and more globalized, women are going to have less and less and less incentive to understand and or care about what men think, because
and they're all going to be real unhappy with this.
Yeah.
What leads down the line a few years later, none of them are going to enjoy their 40s like you and I do.
No, because they're all going to have diseases.
Everything about their lives is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's not fulfilling. It's all an illusion. And it's all peer pressure of they're looking, oh, well, you like that, and that's what it is, so that's what I'm going to try and get, because none of them are satisfied, so they're all trying to play this game to get to be satisfied with this, and they're keeping score. It's just complete nonsense.
Yeah.
It's not fulfilling. It's not any way to live. You're way off track.
It's kind of
You're going
gross.
to be miserable. Yeah.
At the end of the day, they don't really give a what normal guys think, and they don't think what most guys think in general.
Yeah.
All right. I have to catch this episode on my way to work. You guys are killing it. Road to 1 million. Leading by example men. If these guys are leading by example, you don't want to go where they're going.
Yeah, no.
And there's a million people following them.
That's kind of sad.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all's viewpoint on this, do you think that they're like, what do you think of their conversation so far? Okay, good. That's coming from
I don't know
another.
if the mic's picked
that's
it up.
coming from
What did she
another
say?
one. She
What-
has zero respect for any of them.
Yeah.
That's coming from another woman. So
Yep.
I would just say, once you know the truth, don't get mad at it. Understand
Yes.
it.
The truth? No, that's not the truth.
Accept it. And
You guys are falling for the lie.
yeah,
you know what? Cool. Now I know how women operate. I'm going to adapt and maneuver for my best interest. But I will say you brought up a very good point, ego.
Yes.
So when it comes to ego, right, with women,
This is all ego based.
that's it. 100%.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's my standards. You should meet my standards always. And it's funny because
I agree with that. Here's my standards. You should meet my standards always. Mm-hmm. And if you find somebody that's not meeting your standards, as long as your standards are properly determined and properly gauged and reasonable, and you meet your own standards, then you have somebody that you can have a good relationship with. None of these people.
I
are
almost
even
feel
in
like
the
we
universe of
need
meeting
the
my
story
standards.
on this Brittany Renner. Like we need to know her story.
We might. Let's see.
I'd add in one more thing to that. Hope. So what happens is, right?
Oh
good,
my
good, yeah,
God.
good, yeah.
Ours goes all the time, for example.
wow.
Okay, if he cheats on you, you leave. Cool, what's next? Well, I found another guy that won't cheat. I'm like, yo, the guys that you want, the top 10%,
Stupid.
they're probably going to cheat.
That's right.
So you're going to leave one man that's treating you good, that chose you to be his girl, but another man, he's going to cheat too. What's next?
Why do they all think that somebody's going to cheat? You know why? Because they're losers.
Probably because they're surrounded by cheaters.
Yeah, they're surrounded by cheaters, and they think everybody's cheating, and all their friends cheat, and they cheat, so everybody's a cheater.
Yeah.
That's the world that they're in. You're in the wrong world.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope I'll find one that doesn't cheat. No, once again, ego and hope. That's the two biggest thing there. That's all they
That's
have.
that.
Ego and hope. No. Here's the difference. You decide that you're going to have one that doesn't cheat, and you set those standards, and then you don't accept somebody who doesn't meet the standards.
That's a fantastic
they have,
point.
bro.
This is why I tell guys, when you reach a certain level, you're gonna just don't get.
No, you're not.
Look at her turn towards him.
Yeah.
I want to see her. I want to
Yeah.
see her facial reaction.
Yeah. I mean, he's telling you right now that he's cheating on you. You know that, right? You know that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's probably told you he's cheating on you.
Listen, man, girls don't really care, no matter what they tell you.
Okay, does that look on her face show that she doesn't really care?
Yeah.
What is she thinking? Is she gone? Or is she so insecure that she's afraid to leave?
Or
This is battered women syndrome.
or she has an open
Or-
marriage with him.
Or she is cheating and she's thinking about somebody else already. Who knows? We don't know anything about her.
On this,
Except she looks a little bit like Lisa Schreisinger, the comedian. Is it Schleisinger? Lisa?
Is it
She look-
Lysinger?
Yeah, she lives in Dallas. There's a good chance that I'm going to wind up meeting her at some point in time.
Yeah.
And I hope she forgives me for mispronouncing her name. Whatever.
set at this very table, they really don't care. The reason why they say they care is because in public they have to say they care.
No, that's not why. So now you're also calling them liars and saying that they don't even know themselves, and that's no.
Because it looks
care.
bad to say, well, if my guy cheats, I don't care.
Who are these women that they're going on the show that are doing
That makes
this?
them look bad to other women. No, if my guy cheats, I'm gonna leave him. But deep down inside, she knows she's not fucking going anywhere because
What is that face?
the men, or I'm sorry, the women that
Her hand is on his leg.
I know.
the top 10% of
She
men have
likes-
chosen, they know their dudes run around on them, but they choose to turn a blind eye because they understand what position they're in. They
What is he saying about that woman? He's insulting her right to her face, and she's just taking it.
Really don't care.
Women
about
don't
what
want to
you say.
accept the fact that the reality is men are going to cheat. Their ego wants
It's not. Oh my God! How many
to get
times?
sense to them. You know what?
So I
You're-
really want to know their stance on if the woman cheats on the guy. They gonna leave?
Apparently not, because they're all saying that they know that they cheat. Everybody cheats.
You're a bad bitch.
I don't
You
cheat.
got your own thing going on. Why should you be cheating?
Yep, I never have. I've broken up with a girl and started dating another girl the same day, but I broke up first. And that was when I was 17.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was actually a mistake. I shouldn't have.
Cheating.
Whatever.
And it's funny because
You learn.
if you break it down even further,
And I'm not complaining at all, because
they know it's happening. They just don't want to accept it.
And they don't want, well, it's not that they don't want to accept it. They don't want to verbally acknowledge it. They'll accept it, but they won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, I know he's running around, but as long as he doesn't fuck her in my house, as long as he doesn't give me STDs, knock anybody up, as long
What?
Look at the thought
heck?
process. I'm just imagining the thought process of this girl and what she's thinking about.
I mean, but they could have gotten married before they got married. He could have said, "Hey, I'm going to be cheating on you. I'm going to do these things. Like, this is my life. You want to marry me? This is the way it is." And
I
she
guess.
could have done it.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, I don't think she has a voice. She hasn't said one word on this whole
Right.
thing.
And she doesn't look that happy to me.
No,
And yeah.
I wouldn't be happy.
as long as she doesn't have to acknowledge it out loud, they're okay
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
That's what's
she's-
happening.
And she's not talking.
She doesn't have to talk.
with it. They don't even have to verbally acknowledge that they're going to be okay with it. This is why you cannot ask women, if a guy cheats on you, you're going to leave him? She has to say yes.
What is this point?
Otherwise, she looks stupid. Oh, and
Oh,
by
she
the
nodded her head. Yes.
She did? Oh my
way,
goodness.
the ego
She's
thing. I'll go back to the ego thing.
She's programmed.
Once again, that comes from the outside. If my guy cheats on me, how's that going to make me look? Oh my God, she took back a cheater. Oh my, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
That's all. Girls have the biggest egos. Men, we have egos to an extent.
Are you kidding me?
We-
You guys have
Girl-
the biggest
Right,
egos. Have
he's,
you
he's
listened to
right
yourself?
right now. This is all him and his ego. he has the nerve to even say that it's not.
But what we accomplish comes through confidence, and I think you said
Competence.
competency.
Yeah. Competence leads to accomplishment leads to confidence. Women
Yeah.
don't. Women don't.
Yes, competence leads to accomplishment, leads to confidence.
People who are liking their
which leads to
podcasts.
accomplishments, which leads to competence, which leads to confidence and competence. It's a circle, and you want to feed that circle. That's true, but not with this fuel.
Yeah.
Don't earn their egos.
No.
Men do. That's
No.
the difference. Like girls get mad. Oh, you have an ego. Men earn their fucking
Goddamn
egos.
right.
Women don't, bro.
No.
Oh, God. They need
Oh.
help.
They need so much help.
They need people to quit subscribing to their podcast.
No, what would be good is if they actually
No, it's not good
Yeah.
for people to have to listen to this and like buy into this
no.
kind of
What
stuff.
what it is if they could somehow grow and get
Yeah.
through this. And the interesting thing is how young the internet is and how young shows like this and things are. Let's see how this progresses over time. And then over time, we will show how that progresses to find something that's better and right.
Yeah.
So the long term of that podcast versus the long term of this podcast, this type of thing makes me that much more confident that we need to keep doing this as long as we can, because we are in a healthy version of what this negative society is. I understand that very well. There was a time in my life where I would have thought and been interested in that because I was trying to hook up and do all that stuff. And that was the worst time of my life. It was a time where I was very off the mark. I wasn't the person that I am now. And now I'm very different. And I'm talking about things like this to help people to preferably not have to go through the stuff that I went through myself. You can see this example, and you can see the example of what healthy and a healthy mindset and attitude are.
If you want to make Satan happy, be like this.
Right.
No, they don't.
At all.
Women get all the ego. If the only reason why women know they're attractive is because the world tells them they're attractive, right?
That is not true either.
Right?
Yep.
They wouldn't know any other way. But the reason why we know we're competent is because we look at our fucking bank accounts, right?
So there are, if they have 1 million subscribers, then that means there's 1 million people who are trying to validate their need to be right and failure,
And their
because it is more,
insecurities.
and their insecurities, and it's more difficult to change the mindset of that mindset to our mindset than it is to actually, once you have this mindset and it's clear that this is not the right way to do things.
No, it's sad.
Exactly.
Very sad.
But
Right. So when someone says Donovan's a broke, blah 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 blah, I wish you would have me flex on this motherfucker. That's the difference between you puncture ego. You do not puncture confidence.
here's the difference. His confidence and his ego are entirely tied to the amount of money that he makes, the amount of followers that he has, the amount of views he gets, the amount of likes he gets, the amount of dopamine responses that he gets from his phone, the amount of validation that he gets from the men and peers that he surrounds himself with, and the women and peers that he surrounds himself with, and the lifestyle and atmosphere that is all designed to validate all of that. If he lost all of his money, he would be a shell and a wreck of everything. If I lost every cent that I had and had to restart tomorrow, I would be the same exact person. It wouldn't particularly bother me that much, and I would be completely fine and free and would recreate everything that I've got all over again very confidently. If I lost my wife, I would be sad. I would be very sad about it. But would it change who I am? No. I would get some sleep, and I would reevaluate and determine what I wanted to do in order to be healthy, and I would move forward and be healthy one way or the other. And the things that he's talking about, the caliber of person that he is, I hope that he grows. I hope that he learns. And I hope that all of them grow through that stuff. But otherwise, I feel bad for him. And I'm hoping, and I'm not telling this and saying any of this stuff to demonstrate or say that I'm better or anything, but I have a better way. And I have something that's much better for long term. This is fruitless at the end of it. It's a burnout quick. It's lots of problems, and it's not good. If you want to have a good, healthy, happy, long-term life, that's not the way to do it. But we're going to talk about more of the way to do it on the Lawyer Dana Show. So subscribe, let us know.
Like our
page. Give us some comments. Tell us what you think. And we'll see
Share with your friends.
And share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next episode. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.